Well, thank you very much. Thank you, all of you, all our panel members, to be with us for this fourth and last session. Bravo, and thank you for these rich discussions. By way of conclusion, I would like to have Dan LERT, Deputy in charge of transitions with the Paris City Council. Welcome. The Mayor, Anne Hidalgo, said so in her introductory remark. The City of Paris has been actively contributing to carbon neutrality. How to implement this objective while preserving the other goals and objectives, and to maintain the balance between the capital city, the Paris city center, and the suburban towns around. Before I answer your question, I would like to say that I'm very happy to conclude this conference that we've been welcoming every year in the City Hall. I want to pay tribute to Jean Jouzel, who was awarded the Grand Vermeulen Medal of the Paris City. Dear Jean, we thank you for showing the way with respect to fighting climate change, with your constant attention to inequalities. You have always been supporting the City Council to guide us in transitioning aspect. Thank you for everything you've been doing for so long. Thank you and bravo to the organizers, dear Christian, dear Morgan, and bravo and thank you for all the stakeholders and panel members. It was a rich, dense day, very interesting day, and I'm very happy that the City Council contributed to organizing such a great conference with such eminent speakers, all the more so as this question of the pathway to carbon neutrality has taken central place in the current context of a climate emergency. In the latest report, the IPCC has advocated for reducing greenhouse gases, which should be quick, radical, and immediate. It remains, according to its authors, 3 years to take action and try and revert the trend and avoid the most negative impacts of climate change, the most disastrous impacts, because in Paris we've been suffering from climate change. We see this in India and Pakistan with heat waves, with temperature levels going up to some 50 degrees Celsius. Europe has been suffering from heat waves as well. In France, we expect temperature levels up to 35 degrees Celsius, knowing that we are only in mid-May. In Paris, we published the results of a large survey on the consequences of climate change for Paris. The average temperature level increased by 2.3 degrees Celsius. In just a few years, the Paris temperature levels could be similar to Sevilla in Spain, with heat waves reaching 50 degrees, which we discussed when we had the Greek meeting of scientists working for the Paris region, supporting us in our transitioning project. As Anne Hidalgo said so in her introductory remark, Paris pioneered the fight against climate change with the first climate plan dating back to 2007, when very few cities were engaged in the climate change issues. For more than 15 years, Paris has taken bold and aggressive action as a host city for the COP21 conference and the Universal Paris Agreement. Paris has a special responsibility. We must stand up to the task and to the climate challenge. This is the reason why the Paris climate change, which was adopted in 2018, has made carbon neutrality by 2050 as a goal of the Paris Agreement, has made it its central goal. It involves for our city that we reduce the carbon footprint by 80%, that we halve the energy consumption level, and that we supply our electricity by renewable 100%. By 2030, renewables should account for 45% of the consumption levels. We stand at about 20%, 7% generated locally. This climate plan and the results obtained were awarded the UN Climate Prize in Glasgow during the COP26 conference. This award should not lead us to sit idle and rest on our laurels. It is a simulation ambition to go faster, to go further, and to be even bolder and more ambitious, because the challenge remains immense and the step forward is very high. Good news for Paris. The latest assessment of greenhouse gas emission shows that we're on the right track. We, in just 15 years, between 2004 and 2018, reduced the greenhouse gas emission by 25%. But now we need to accelerate the trend. By 2030, we need to achieve what we've done in the previous 15 years. The urgency of transitioning for energy was recently emphasized, if I may say, by Russia invading Ukraine, if I may say, which highlighted our energy dependency to fossil fuels from Russia. In the face of this situation, the international community and the various states, Europe and local governments cannot stay idle. By enabling the Russian government to fund its war, thanks to the income it derives from oil and gas. From the 24th of February, European Union member states paid more than 18 million euros to Russia. Without waiting for embargoes, the city of Paris has engaged, starting today, to anticipate the next winter and reduce our gas dependency from Russian gas, which is about the same as for France, that is about 70%. We will launch an energy sobriety plan to meet this crisis, which has been aggravated by the Ukraine war. Sobriety has been the case in Paris, as in many other areas. Energy consumption in Paris, which was 30 terawatt per hour in 2018, has been down by 13% compared to 2004. It's good, it's progress, but it's not enough. Large efforts have been done and will be amplified. Let me just mention a few examples. The new contract for public lighting, which will bring our energy supply by 30% by gaining an additional 10 gigawatt per hour. We will treble the energy renovation work for private buildings during our term of office. After having renovated more than 50,000 units, that is subsidized unit and social housing. With this energy sobriety plan, we want to accelerate the reduction of energy consumption, which is a key factor for reaching our climate goals for Paris. In other words, we will not be carbon neutral without reducing energy consumption levels in Paris. We need to accelerate our trend. In the short term, we schedule the reduction of heating levels for public buildings and will facilitate the hooking up to the public heating network, which has been heating some 500,000 housing units in Paris, as well as all Paris-based hospitals. We want to engage all stakeholders in Paris by way of a communication campaign to encourage and incentivize everyone to take action. The International Energy Agency has come up with short-term solutions to reduce our dependency to fossil fuels, as remote working and reducing speed on motorways. In order to reach these goals, which are very bold. This was said by Jean Jouzel, by the ADEME agency and by the Mayor of Paris. Transition should be fair. It is an imperative in order to successfully achieve our climate goals. As an official of the 19th arrondissement, which is a low-income neighborhood of Paris, I know how the most impoverished communities are the most affected by climate change. Heat in the cities, air pollution, or energy precariousness. Our policy to fight climate change should be enshrined in and fall within the fight against the social and environmental inequalities. It is a prerequisite for success. In September, as early as September of 2022, we'll be writing up a new chapter in the climate plan for Paris with a new plan for Paris. It is a process which will span 2 years, and the result of which will be a new climate plan for Paris by 2024. For this new plan, we have 3 thrusts. To accelerate environmental transition for Paris, our goal is to be faster, to be more local, and to be more fair. Going faster means accelerating, meaning more precise, more concrete, more tangible, more effective, more hands-on, more operational to reach our goals by 2030, aiming this carbon neutrality by 2050. Being more local involves being more territorially located, more local. We will be identifying the drivers to be activated in the local area, neighborhood by neighborhood, to initiate the ecological and environmental change in Paris. Being more fair will be doing more social activities and measures. The low income and working class neighborhoods will be more included in order to be more inclusive, to be more solidarity based. In order to develop this new climate plan, we'll be opening up a very large consultation process to survey all Parisian residents, companies, economic stakeholders, charities, community organizations on their views and visions for the city, on the actions they take and the way the city of Paris can support their transitioning process. If you want to take part in this consultation process, rendezvous is in September at the Académie des Climats for the launch of this revised plan. All actions and initiatives that the city of Paris will be taking and will reinforce towards carbon neutrality and to achieve our climate goals, be it on energy renovation, home renovation, or the greening, the energy mix for the heating network. All this, as the mayor of city said in her introductory remarks, is about environmental planning and scheduling. The new French government and the new prime minister is expected to support the city of Paris and to provide more funding, more assistance, using the so-called heating fund and more investment in order to meet the climate challenge. And that Prime Minister Elisabeth Borne said in her first speech when she became Prime Minister yesterday, the emergency and urgency we are confronted with does not authorize that we stay idle for another 5 years. The Citizen Convention for the Climate clearly set the path forward. Paris at the scale by onboarding and embarking all stakeholders in the city, which are very much participative, will be on track and be ready to tackle the challenges for the next few years. Thank you.
Beaucoup, et Jean Jouzel nous rejoint pour